Hi there, my name's Dave. I'm going to explore humanist learning theory. I want to understand what this theory is about, who are the primary theorists, what the roles are, both the educator and the learner from a humanist perspective, and what are the pros and cons associated with the theory. Origins of humanist learning theory. Merriam explains, humanist theory puts the spotlight on the whole person, including body, mind, and spirit, and the potential of humans for growth and development. The theory developed during the mid-20th century because scholars like Abraham Maslow and Carl Rogers challenged the traditional theory of behaviorism, which explained learning as a result of an external trigger created by those in charge in the environment around the learner. Maslow disagreed and developed his hierarchy of psychological needs. Maslow proposed that learning is an internal need of an individual, but that need, according to him, does not manifest until an individual has reached the level of self-actualization, which is the top of Maslow's hierarchy. This laid the foundation for humanist learning theory, and over time, humanist learning theory has been applied to various fields, including psychology, counseling, and organizational behavior. Carl Rogers' person-centered approach to counseling and psychotherapy influenced the development of humanist learning theory. Rogers proposed that individuals have an innate tendency towards self-actualization and growth, and therefore the process should be learner-centered, focused on empathy, understanding, and unconditional positive regard. Rogers also highlighted the importance of creating the correct environment for adult learning. Roles of the educator and learner. The educator is a facilitator of learning, creating an environment that is supportive and conducive of the learner's growth and development. They act as a guide, providing resources, feedback, and helping identify learner goals. They listen to the unique perspectives, experiences, and needs of the learner, seeking to understand their interests, motivations, so that they can adapt the learning experience accordingly. They're also a role model, exhibiting qualities such as openness, respect, and authenticity. Finally, a supporter of autonomy. The educator encourages self-directed learning and critical thinking and reflection. On the flip side, what is the actual role of the learner? They are an active participant taking responsibility for their own learning, engaging actively, and constructing their own knowledge and meaning. The learner is self-directed, setting their own goals. They engage in critical thinking and reflection to develop a deep understanding of the subject matter. The learner collaborates with the group, seeks peer feedback, and values diversity while engaging in respectful and inclusive interactions. The learner engages in self-assessment, self-regulation, and continuously monitors their own learning process. Pros and cons. Humanistic learning theory places the learner at the center of the process, allowing them to take ownership of the experience. It emphasizes the holistic development of learners, including their cognitive, emotional, social, and physical aspects of the learning. Humanistic learning promotes authentic experiences that are relevant. Authentic learning events promote motivation, engagement, and retention of knowledge. It also acknowledges the importance of emotional well-being in the learning process. It values learners' emotional experiences and encourages self-reflection, self-awareness, and self-regulation. Some industry professionals provide the argument that humanistic learning theory lacks the structure and guidance provided by more traditional instructional approaches. The emphasis on individualized learning, self-direction, and reflection may require additional time for educators to tailor instruction to the learner's needs. Strauss claimed, "It has not been possible to observe and evaluate accurately the effective learning outcomes of adult education by the methods now in use. Since adult education is largely directed at achieving changes in feelings, values, and attitudes, it's subjective and hard to evaluate." Finally, there's limited focus on content. It may not provide the same level of coverage of a more traditional instructional approach. So just a quick summary of what was talked about. We learned the origin story of humanistic learning theory. The two main theorists were Maslow and Rogers. We discussed the 5 roles of educator and learner under humanistic theory. Finally, we went over the pros and cons that are still actively debated today in humanist learning theory. Thank you for joining today. Please take a minute to give your perspective on humanist theory. There's a link and a QR code on the slide to Mentimeter. Your feedback will help make this presentation better for future learners. Never stop learning.